Shawn Ray here for Muscular Development TV. We are in front of the historic Gold's Gym with the Incredible Hulk, Lou Ferrigno, only one day after his birthday, and today he's celebrating his son's birthday, Louis Jr. Lou, we're headed into the Lou Ferrigno Legacy Championships in Palm Springs. A year ago, we were in Santa Barbara. We've got a venue change and a lot more in store for this year. Talk about it.
Well, it's going to be great because everything's going to be at the casino, the after party, the competition. Santa Barbara was tough because we had to spread it out. But the exciting thing is you have a lot of competitors from Arizona, and everybody's excited because the first contest is very successful, so people know they're going to be treated better. They're going to be respected. I'm going to go down, especially when the pre-judge, and taking pictures, make them feel welcome. Not just a competition, but kind of like a home, family environment.
Absolutely. I mean, coming out of the box last year with your first show, I mean, you had Samir Banu, Corey Everson, Flex Wheeler was in the house. Phil Williams, the former national champion, was out there. Everybody came out to support what you were doing. Leroy Colbert showed up. The amateur division was just stellar. Great lineup. And then, of course, Ronnie Rocco won the men's pro championships, which qualified him for this past Olympia. This is a pro-am event, working as a family. You're also working with Chris Menes from the show up there in Lake Tahoe. So you got some expert people behind the scenes, but more importantly, moving this show to Palm Springs. Palm Springs hasn't had bodybuilding there in quite some time. Bringing the pro element to kind of a retirement community is a smart move, I think, on your part, because last year it was on Thanksgiving holiday. Yeah. This year it's a weekend before. A lot of opportunity for a lot of athletes that you guys are creating out there in Palm Springs.
Well, especially the word of mouth in the first show because people are excited, especially coming from all over the world. One thing I wanted to say is that yesterday, you know, I turned 64, November the 9th. Exactly 40 years ago, with Pumping Iron in South Africa. It was November the 9th. And if somebody said to me that back then when I competed, that 40 years later, all men, women are going to be competing, you're going to have different competitions, I would have laughed because at the time we were struggling just to have notoriety, publicity, just to be respected as bodybuilding, because before Pumping Iron came out, everybody thought that bodybuilding was like a freakish sport, like a shadow sport, but now everyone embraces it, Hollywood, everyone, even our kids too. So it's a blessing because all of us, we could benefit from the sport and also the everyday environment.
Well, 40 years ago, I was a 10-year-old running around with nappy hair. Also, 40 years ago, you didn't have, after that competition, you didn't have the president of the International Federation of Bodybuilding, Wayne Price, in place. A former strongman is now bringing the Arnold Classic to South Africa for the first time on another continent out there. What you're doing right now, Lou, is very reminiscent of what Arnold started back in 1989 with your Arnold Classic. You've had the luxury of staying here in California with your competition, hitting Santa Barbara and now Palm Springs, with women's physique, women's bikini, men's physique, all these other avenues that are being involved and added to bodybuilding that wasn't there during your time. How good is that for the sport as far as the inclusion of all these other types of athletes now?
Well, it's great because anybody can compete today. You have, like you said, you had the women's figure, bikini, and bodybuilding, because back then you had to bodybuilding and female bodybuilding, but now if you don't have the potential genetics to be a world champion bodybuilder, you can still compete in the figure as a fitness, still have some respect on stage for yourself. There's room for everyone. And also, you're talking about the Arnold Classic, it kind of laid the groundwork because now I love the franchise, the show, there's room for everyone because everybody today is interested in fitness and bodybuilding. As soon as you say the word figure, fitness, they just jump at it. Yeah. And it's wonderful because the show had so many different flavors, not just bodybuilding. It's the guy come out with the shorts standing there, the girlfriend, the wife screaming, come on. You have the different weight classes. You have also like the 30, you have the 40, 45, any age you can compete.
Well, what's great is to see that you still have the enthusiasm, that you're in a place to continually give back. But the one thing I think our fans out there want to hear, 40 years later, after the contest is over, Louis, what do you want to do? It's a line from Pumping Iron. After the contest is over.
Well, after the contest, I'm still making movies. I'm still working on the Hulk. You know, when you were a kid, you're watching all those Hulk shows. Exactly. I would just say that hoping that we have more growth because we're going to have 35 booths. And eventually, I want to have a big sports expo. I want to grow and get bigger and bigger because my son emceeing the competition is primarily him getting me involved doing the show because I can't do it myself. I have a great partner, Chris Menes, and we want to put the best quality show. So we want to see it grow, get bigger and bigger every year.
Absolutely. The line I was looking for is I just want to eat my cake. For the Incredible Hulk on his birthday right here in sunny Southern California at Gold's Gym. Make sure you check us out in Palm Springs at the Agua Caliente on November 19th, 20th, and 21st in Palm Springs. For Lou Ferrigno, I'm Shawn Ray, MuscularDevelopment.com.